All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is George Michaels from KFAB Commentaries, and today we have a very special shoot for you. Three stars of the Empire Wrestling Circuit. We have Hipnosis, who is now known as Joseph Midnight, the voice of New Virtual Wrestling Garland, and former MMW superstar and ERW worker Ajax. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on to our show.
Thank you for having us.
What we're gonna do is first we're gonna ask each of you how you got started in the business, and then we'll move into the interesting stuff. So let's start with Hipnosis. How did you break into the business?
Well, I got started years ago back in Federation Online. I was originally wrestling there for a little while and everything. There was some stuff going on with M. Dickey, so basically they came up with this idea where I was going to take over the company. I got this huge push and everything, and it was all money from there, baby.
All right, Ajax. What about you?
Well, I got my start wrestling in Maple Leaf grappling, and after 2 years, I was a world champion, and I got discovered by, I'm sure everyone will remember him because he was such a goddamn nutcase, but Matt Bry, or Shane O'Mac, as they call them, I guess.
Yes, the king of glitter and teenage music.
And, well, after he discovered me, I guess he kind of took me under his wing, and we were a tag team in MMW for a while, known as Team Americanada. And that's how I got my start.
Were you in Maple Leaf when Mikey Truth was there, or was he already in the MMW by the time you were going through?
No, Mikey was long gone.
Okay. And I guess last but not least, Garland, who I guess yours must be a little different, seeing as you're a commentator and all.
My story is actually quite interesting. I got my start, I was doing internet vlog shows, around 2010. That's when I started, paying attention to the Empire circuit, started watching Supreme Pro Wrestling, Empire Mall Wrestling. I discovered these companies, and I would just do these independent vlog shows about them. That's where I got discovered. I got an offer from Lord Cypher, who's Luke Cypher's father. He discovered me, and he hit me up. He connected me to High Flying Door, and they checked out my vlog show. They put an offer on the table. Like, dude, you have such a great personality. We want you to do commentary for our show. Bring more appeal to it. Before then, they didn't have commentary on their show. It was just put on TV, no commentary. Very, very 1930 old school style. But I brought commentary to their show for the first time, and the rest was history from there. Started in MMW, went on to other promotions, went from commentary to becoming a manager, and the rest was
so you went straight to the MMW.
Yes, went straight to the MMW. I know a lot of people used to give me hell backstage because they.
That's exactly what I was going to ask. How much heat did you have because of that?
Oh man, I got nuclear heat from everybody. Hell, I mean, from everybody from, let me see some names in particular. Paramonger, he hated my guts, man. He wanted to smack the shit out of me, but don't let my small size fool you. I'm not scared to throw with anybody. He needs to remember, he plays a tough guy on TV, but he's not legit tough at all. I mean, I done bitched this guy so many times because I'm nobody to play with. Who else? Mikey Truth.
Mikey Truth.
Believe it or not, Mikey Truth. I know people see him as this super nice guy and all that and stuff, but like I said, he used to give me hell backstage. Some of that stuff that y'all seen on TV with the beef between me and Mikey Truth, that stuff is, far beyond, kayfabe. Some of it is real.
Really?
I mean, and MMW made a ton of money off of it, but I definitely caught some heat backstage because there's like, who's this guy right here? He hasn't proven anything. He hasn't worked the show at all. He's automatically getting put on TV, doing the whole show by himself. I mean, he doesn't deserve it.
All right. Well, we'll save more of that for later when we get into the drama heat section of the shoot. So let's segue into how you three met each other, where you met each other, and just how your working relationship started. I'll leave this open to any of you, because I don't know how each of your stories go. So, the floor is open.
Well, I remember meeting Hipnosis backstage in MMW, and we actually even worked a match together. I remember we had a good back and forth match, but we didn't really befriend each other. Like, I wouldn't say we were friends until I left MMW.
Hip, what do you remember about meeting Ajax?
I don't know. I remember that there was a lot of stuff going on in MMW when I first came in there. Like, my first match, we were talking about how I was gonna be in the Battle Royal for the All-Star Championship. And, I remember, it was just, like, so many new people there to me, so, like, it's all kind of a blur to me, honestly. But it's just because, like, mainly, I probably don't really remember much in MMW because, like, there's just, like, a lot of stuff going on so quickly after I became All-Star Champion, after I lost the title, so.
Alright, so I guess we have an idea of how you two got to know each other. But what about you, Garland? Who did you meet first, Ajax or Hip? And how did you meet each of them?
I actually met Ajax first, around, I was working with MMW. And, during this time, it was the brand split with Rampage and Warzone, where every 2 months or so, we would do a show together, a major MMV event. And, I met Ajax backstage, I was watching one of the Warzone parts of the show and stuff, real big people would come out and do his bit. And I would do my bit for Rampage. So I met, Ajax backstage, man. This guy's a cool guy. He's the only one that welcomed me with open arms. Because I guess in a way, if you don't mind me saying, Ajax, we both know how it feels to be treated, a certain way in the locker room and stuff. I guess he sympathized with the way I was getting treated. And, he's a hard worker and I am too. Me and him chopped it up in the back, comparing stories, just little small shit. I asked him what's it like in Canada. He was asking me about the States. I didn't meet Joseph right here, or should I say him? I don't want to, put your government name out there like that, but I guess I already did. I met him.
I'm already going by Joseph Midnight, so.
Yeah, that's true. I met Hipnosis when I first got signed to OWF. I didn't meet him until the past year or so. Like I said, he's a stand-up guy, a real stand-up guy. He's very unselfish. He's always willing to put new talent over, and you don't catch that much in wrestling, especially with veterans. So Hipnosis always has my respect. He's willing to do what's best for business, or what he sees fit, but he only does it for the deserving ones. I guess like I said, first day in the door, he's pretty much like he was with Ajax. He welcomed me with open arms. Like I said, these two guys I'm sitting next by are two of the most humble guys that I ever met in the business.
So, there will be a separate section of the shoot where we go into more of your past, but let's start out with your current standings. As of right now, each of you work for the three biggest names in the Empire circuit. Ajax is under contract, I believe, with ERW. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I am.
Joseph Van Dyke, of course, has been in OWF since the start. And Garland has been a staple of New Virtual Wrestling since its very first show. So, my question is, seeing as you're all on three very different shows, do you not see each other as much? And how different is, say, ERW from NVW or OWF or vice versa?
Well, I see it like this. As to answer your first question, I also make appearances on OWF. I'm a heel on OWF. With the Garland gang and all that. So I see Joseph all the time. Ajax not as much. I know ERW is on hiatus right now. I mean, I catch him every now and then. He tries to make the NVW shows as much as possible. But like as far as Hip goes, I see him on a regular. That's my bit on it.
All right. Next, Hip. Since you worked both OWF and NVW, how are the workloads different, and how are the locker rooms different?
Well, it's like different because I mainly do a lot behind the scenes work with OWF and everything like that. I'm more than just wrestling and everything, and then with other promotions and everything, I'll be mainly just a wrestler and everything. So there's like a lot more work that goes into it, of course, being with OWF, since there's a lot more backstage work and I do and everything. So thing that sucks is that I get more freedom with OWF since I work backstage, but I try not to get too much heat because like people might think I'm putting myself over too much, and then I might bury myself too much putting others over too much. So kind of gets confusing there. But when I work for somebody else for another promotion, like when I've been with EWR and everything, like it's much easier, honestly.
All right. I guess I'm going to take what you just said and lead into the next. Well, it's a bit of a. It was a fan question that I was going to save for the fan question segment, but seeing as what you just said about heat and whatnot, as you know, you appeared in the first two episodes of NVW, correct?
Yes.
And you and Tyson Vicks had a match to decide the MVW World Title. And it's the day after the match aired, the IWC constantly bitched about the constant false finishes. Primarily you hitting the Swanton several times and Tyson Vicks kicking out. And rumors circulated that Yonkers hated you, you had heat with Tyson Vicks, so time to clear there. What's the story behind what happened there?
Basically, like, since it's a new promotion starting up and everything, and it's like the first main event and everything, we just had this plan to do something cool, but there was a few times where we forgot what we were supposed to do and everything. It's normal stuff that happens, and everything was going by so fast, being the first show and everything, and at first we had a few ideas that seemed real cool, but once we actually went out there and actually did it, kind of seemed like I kind of got buried a little bit. But, in the end, I think everything worked out and everything. It just made Tyson Vicks look even stronger, and he's been a strong world champion ever since. So, I'm cool with that.
So no heat with NVW management or anything?
Nah, I was a little, I was a little mad at first, kind of, but I, sometimes people get mad and stuff and get angry because they get buried, but sometimes you could just come back from it, and I've been trying to fight come back. I mean, I've been through worse, so honestly, it didn't really bother me that much because I was in MMW, and I feel like buried a lot more from. I was buried a lot in MMW and everything. I'll touch on that later though, but like with MVW, it's not so bad because I've come back from worse, so it's all good.
So now we're gonna lead into, since you both work at three different places, we're gonna hear what the locker room is like in each of their respective workplaces. Now, since I know Garland works in both, I'm gonna ask that Garland describe the NVW backstage scene, seeing as you're with the company more. And so we're gonna start off with Ajax with this. And what is the backstage scene like in ERW? Who are the locker room leaders? And just how is it?
I'd say it's a pretty structured environment. It's pretty simple. Zarby's the leader. I mean, he's pretty much the mastermind behind everything. You listen to him. It's pretty straightforward.
All right. Garland, what about you? What is NVW's backstage scene like, and who are the locker room leaders?
As far as MVW goes, at times it's structured, but at other times it's very chaotic due to the number of young stars that we have there. Most of them are new to this business, so at times there's not many locker room leaders back there. I mean, you have a Tyson Vicks, you have a Yayo. I haven't reached that status yet to be a locker room leader because I only been in this business 3 years. But you have those two. John Yonkers has arrived as a true leader. I mean, they respect him due to him being under the tutelage of Zarby Smash. So I mean, he got instant respect once New Virtual Wrestling came into existence. And like I said, of course they're gonna be grateful to John Yonkers for giving them a job. Most of these guys couldn't even get bookings anyway. I mean, I'm gonna throw some names out there. For instance, Jack Durden, who we just signed. I know this guy been working at a churches down south in Georgia, and I mean, when I see a guy like that had to start from the bottom, and he's finally getting due respect and is finally able to showcase his skills on the national stage, it brings a certain warmness to my heart. Another example, J.Y. Arthurs. I mean, I know what you're thinking. He should already have his foot in the door due to his brother being the world champion, but it wasn't the case for him. J.Y. Arthurs has always been the type of guy that, everything that he earns in this world, he want to do it himself. He don't want to take no shortcuts or anything like that. He works hard for it. Voltaire, I mean, this guy was a low card down there in Mexico. With the Yayo, basically as a translator, Yayo does double duty. He's also a translator for me. Yayo brought this kid to the States. He was like, man, Garland, he had a meeting with me and Yonkers. He was like, dude, you got to see this guy, down here in Mexico. He's a true beast, all that stuff. Went down there. I mean, me and Yonkers both seen potential. We helped him get a job here, repackaged him as Voltaire. And this guy has been amazing ever since he came to the roster. So, I mean, the few stories that we have in our locker room, everybody has a story and stuff. As far as the OWF locker room, great environment. Everybody is just vibrant and happy, especially with the success of the show. some of the locker room leaders I see there, um, Hypnosis, um, Serve Up, um, who else? Hell, Dookie. I mean, those main three. Mike, I guess you can call Mikey Truth a temporary locker room leader since he's kind of on a part time. He was on a part time schedule at the time with OWF. So I mean, two different locker rooms, two different environments. I mean, working two promotions, you see a lot going on.
Thank you. Hypnosis, he sort of set you up for the OWF portion. Anything you have to add to how the OWF backstage scene is?
It definitely feels a little different because we got different hiring processes and everything. I mean, like there's some guys that be around and everything. And a lot of people feel like they almost don't even exist, but we still give them an opportunity. We don't want to. I mean, not saying that other companies don't give other people opportunities. It's just I'm just saying, but it's pretty much the same but different. It's a confusing way to put it, but that's kind of the best way I could put it, though.
All right. While we're talking about workplaces, you've all worked for multiple bookers and owners. Out of them all, which one treated you the best? And share any stories you have about them and them treating you well. Ajax, you can start.
I've got a good one. So, I had a backstage incident once when I was working with Rampage, MMW Rampage, and basically it led to me getting traded to SPW. Actually getting traded to SPW, and one of the biggest regrets of my life is not going to SPW and going to Warzone instead. I still regret that.
So, I'm sorry, I don't see how that related to the question.
Okay, I mean,
Which promotion was the best we went to, and which one was the worst?
No, which owner actually treated you the best, and do you have any stories relating to that?
Okay, if I can, I'm gonna go ahead and get my answer out the way. The promotion that treated me the best, it's kind of a tie with me. It's kind of I mean, every promotion I've been to treated me well. I got on the lucky end of the stick and signed with Rampage and not Warzone. So I mean, Lord Cypher and HFD treated me with respect and dignity. They always treated me nice. Hell, I was creative on Rampage too. So we were like this big three-headed monster. And we just meshed good together, and I never had any problems with them. Never. I mean, we had some minor. Let me take that back. We had some minor disagreements. Me and HFD did on certain outcomes, certain bookings. But other than that, nothing real major. Bethany Taylor, she's treated me well in OWF. I give her the utmost respect. I know it's hard running a promotion in a male-dominated, sport. So, I mean, she's doing a great job, and she's, like I said, never had no problems with her. I pitch her idea, she actually listens to it, and 9 out of 10 we run with it. In VW, you know, I mean, I was there. I've been there since day one, and Mr. Yonkers, that guy knows what he's doing. Me and him basically have the connection that me and Cypher had back on Rampage. We both know, you know, what we're gonna do. So I mean, like I said, it's a tie with me as far as locker room environments between all the places I've ever been to.
And what about you, Hip?
Most places I've been to, like I've had like I've had a lot of backstage work with, but the when I was with UVW, like that was my favorite place to be because I think UVW and ERW was so awesome, man. Like the what's that guy's name? Like everybody, people probably won't know him. His name was like Dakota or wherever. He was actually legit owner or wherever, but for kayfabe purposes, because he didn't want to be on the show or wherever. That dude was awesome, but Bethany Taylor, I mean, she, just like Garland said, man, she's pretty awesome too because, like, there's this stuff going on with freaking Sean Starr. He got fired because of it, and
That was legit. That wasn't an angle.
yeah, like she was legit used to be a porn star, and he actually put that stuff up on the internet. So like he got major heat for that, but like I had to talk her into bringing him back and everything, and like honestly, when he came back and stuff backstage, he wasn't wrestling or anything, but like one dude, man, Dookie, I had to keep Dookie back because he was gonna slap him or whatever, man. There was a lot of people
That
pissed out
reminds
for
me.
that too, cause
Sorry to cut you off, but this is related to Garland and Hip. Sorry, Ajax, you'll be more involved in the other segments. But in response to that, let me pull it up real quick. You all know the Empire dirt sheets, how you can take everything with a grain of salt, right? But there was an actual excerpt from an interview with President Yonkers. And he actually said he in response to if there was legitimate beef between him and Taylor, he responded, "She got angry when I began signing so much talent. So when one of her guys came to my show, I made him look like shit. 15 swantons." When asked on his opinion on Sean Starr, he finished with, "Kid is real click material. I might just sign him." What is the deal with Yonkers and Bethany Taylor's heat with each other? And how does it not get in the way of working relationships between the company?
for me, honestly, you can go, Garland.
I guess with because I mean, me and he'll probably have more, I guess, knowledge of this situation than anybody since we've been at both places. I guess with dealing with both of them, I don't know what their beef is with each other. I try to stay out of it. As a worker and all that stuff, especially if you're employed at two different places, you have one or two choices. You either can get yourself involved and risk losing one of your bookings, or if you really, really want to keep both of them, you stay out of it. And me, my approach is staying out of their beef they have with each other. But as far as seeing anything public or anything like that, as far as myself, and I'm telling you, Marks, all you internet Marks, I'm gonna say this once, and I'm not gonna bring it up in another shoot again. I haven't seen nothing verbal, nothing physical happen between Yonkers and Bethany Taylor. I have never seen it for myself.
For me personally, I like if they got heat with each other, that's between them and everything. Like Bethany, she's actually really nice and really sweet and everything. And it was pretty messed up of Sean Starr to like bring up her past like that. But he was like all pissed and everything about not getting a bigger push and everything. And like on top of that, with Adam Arthur's just coming in and getting a push, like he was getting egotistical about that and everything. And I don't know. I think he pretty much messed himself up right now because he still got to learn the business and everything. He got to calm down, not being so cocky and everything. But that heat with if Bethany and Yonkers got heat, that's between them. But I just think it was really messed up that Sean Starr did that and everything. So, but that's how people are sometimes. They can be pretty messed up in this business, man.
Let's get an outside opinion on it. Ajax. What is your opinion on what Sean Starr did? What is your opinion on Yonkers' response to the whole situation? And just in general, what do you think?
I mean, I think what Sean Starr did was completely unacceptable. I mean, you're not supposed to do that to someone who writes your paychecks. I mean, like, why would you do that? I mean, Sean Starr has completely blackballed himself from getting hired to another wrestling company just forever. I mean, who's going to trust hiring this guy? That's what I think about Sean Starr, honestly. I mean, he's great talent, but who's going to trust this guy? I mean, you're not going to... If you don't push him, he's going to complain, or he's going to spread rumors about you, or he's going to post a picture of you, like, doing porn. It's not the right attitude.
Can I say one more thing before we go to the next subject about this situation? And I always wanted to talk about this, and now I have the forum to
Go
do
ahead.
it. Since day one, I talked to Bethany Taylor about it. I'm like, please, like, what the hell were you thinking, pushing this guy to the moon with these vignettes and putting him in a championship match on his debut night in the company? To me, that was stupid. It was stupid because, I mean, look, I know what you think. I'm the last person to be saying it because like I said, I go by the guy that hasn't earned his stripes and stuff. But there's a major difference between being a personality and being a pro wrestler.
Garland, couldn't that argument be made for Adam Arthurs too, saying he shouldn't even be world champion at this early in his career? Couldn't someone make that exact same point about him?
I mean, yes, but at the same time, you got to look at what Adam Arthur's been through. Adam Arthur's wrestled, matches before he became world champion. He was in actual matches, and not only just regular matches, good-ass matches. He was in a high-profile feud. This guy, I mean, in a short amount of time, yes, he's the world champion, but in a way, he at least earned it more than Sean Starr did. Sean Starr was automatically stuck in the main event picture with no true build as far as in-ring work or anything like that. And I mean, to some, yes, the same argument can be made, but like I said, Adam Arthurs had wrestled, matches before he was put in a championship.
All right. Well, I think this little discussion leads well into a little breakaway segment. Basically, it's called the Dick Bag. I'm going to say a wrestler's name, and each of you are going to say either they're cool, I don't know them, or they're a dick. If they're a dick, they go in the dick bag. So the way it's going to go is I'm going to say it, Hip's going to say what he thinks, Ajax is going to say what he thinks, and then Garland's going to say what he thinks. Alright?
I'm cool with it.
Alright.
Let's
Do it.
Alright. First name, Harold 180 Jones.
I don't know that jobber. No, I'm just kidding. He's cool.
He's sometiming. I don't know. Can you like tear the paper in half and put half of it in the bag and keep another half out? Because like I said, that guy is sometiming.
And Ajax? What do you think?
I don't have a problem with him, personally. I mean, I wrestled with him a couple of times, mostly on ERW, and we had a pretty good match. But the problem I have with him is when he left UVW to go to SPW. I thought that was pretty classless how he just left UVW in the dust when he probably had the biggest push of his career. I don't agree with that. I don't think he's a dick, but what he did to AEW was pretty dickish.
So he's not going in the bag.
No, I wouldn't put him in the
All
bag.
right, next name. Robin Mercy.
He's
He's
cool.
cool,
I've been
man.
loving his work on MVW, man.
Ajax.
Nah, I don't have a problem with Robin. I mean, he's a good talent. You know, I'd honestly love to work with him someday.
And Garland.
He's cool with me. Dude has unlimited potential. He's the most charismatic guy I've seen in a while. I mean, you don't meet too many guys in the business that has a creative mind for it or know what to do to put themselves over, but this guy has done it himself. The whole Booze Cruise idea, the whole cowboy gimmick and all that stuff, that was his idea. The cowboy pimp was his idea, all that stuff. So, I mean, Robin Mercy is cool in my book. I mean, I talked to the guy once. He has nothing but the utmost respect for anybody he meets. I mean, I can say nothing but good things about this guy.
All right, next up, Trent Dynamite.
I think he's all right, you know. But you know, I mean, he needs to get a little bit more original. I mean, some of his stuff kind of sounds like, you know, he's been like listening to me Mikey Truth promos and everything like that. You know, just get a little bit more original. But he's cool. Other than that,
Ajax.
I've honestly never met him, so I don't have an opinion on him.
Garland.
He need to lay off the drugs, but he's cool. But still, he need to lay off the drugs.
All right. Next one. Dom Domino.
I think he's cool. I mean, he was pretty scary back in UVW. I remember watching him. So, you know, I honestly don't know whether to be real scared of him personally or if he's just playing his character really good, man.
Ajax.
Yeah, Dom's the kind of guy that really likes to live his gimmick, but he's an underrated talent. I mean, he doesn't really get enough credit, you know, as he deserves, but he's all right with me. I've always liked Dom.
Garland.
Man, fuck that, man. I don't know where y'all two been or what kind of experience y'all had with the guy, but the guy's a dick.
We have our
A dick with a
first
capital
member
T.
of the bag.
The dick. No, throw that motherfucker in the bag, man. Do you want to hear a dumb domino story?
Let's.
Oh my god. All right, I went to the ERW show, man, and you know, I was backstage watching the show, peeping it, and I seen Dom Domino. Now, before this time, I was a fan of the guy's work because he had this chaotic gimmick. It made you think he was fucking Brian Pillman reincarnated, and you know, I'm feeling the whole loose cannon thing he was doing too. So you know, when they're backstage to talk to him. Man, this motherfucker had an assistant and told her what it was on his mind, and she would relay it to me. And I'm sorry, I'm from the South, and in the South, you either address who you're talking to yourself, or you don't talk to them at all. So, I took that as a sign of disrespect, and ever since then, man, the dude's been a dick, man. He's a dick to me, and I understand I shouldn't base content of somebody's character off of one altercation, but fuck that. Put him in a dick bag.
All right, so we got our first one. I was afraid you guys weren't going to pull any punches, so we'll do 3 more names before we call it a day. All right, Dan Morris.
I don't really know much about that guy, but I know he's got a lot of talent, man. He's pretty good, but I don't know much about him, honestly.
All right, we got it. We don't know. Ajax.
I don't know much about him, honestly. I mean, I've seen some of his stuff. He's got potential, but apart from that, I don't know much about him.
Seems like this guy keeps to himself. And what about you, Garland?
Let's make it 3 for 3. And it's shocking. I'm at MVW all the time. He stays to himself.
Really? You don't even know.
Yeah. No. Don't know at all.
Mostly stays to himself. Great family man, I heard.
All right, next name. Ooh, Demon.
I'll go first on this one, man. Demon's cool as hell. I'll give him that. This is the only guy, one of the few guys I know that when he became world champion, he didn't get the big head. Hell, I used to kick it with Demon when I was in Rampage. This guy never changed a thing when he became world champion. He still went to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. Didn't leave there till about 12 that afternoon. I never heard, and I told him that's dangerous. I've been telling him it's too dangerous working in the gym that long, but he would do it. I mean, he never changed his workout regimen. He never changed his personality. He never changed the people that he even hung around when we used to go kick it at a pub somewhere in England. So, I mean, he's cool. He doesn't go in the bag.
All right. What about you, Hip?
From what I know, he's been really cool. I know we haven't worked that much together, but when I got to SPW, I know he was there, and he was telling me about he was telling me that Phantasm could be the future of SPW. He was a really great star, so I think Demon's really cool.
And another person with a lot of history with him, Ajax.
Oh man, me and Demon, Demon's one of my bestest friends in the wrestling business, and I'm really happy that I met him. I mean, we've been through our ups and downs, but I'm really happy for the guy. I mean, I had a great time working with him when we were in Warriors After Revenge. I mean, me, him, and Anarchy, we just go to the clubs and raise hell and just have a good time. I mean, I really miss being in the same locker room as that guy.
And time for our last name. Davey Claudio.
Dick.
We've got one vote for Dick.
You don't even have to think twice about it. Put him in the dick bag.
You are what you eat.
And Garland.
As a famous guy once said, man, he can eat a dick.
That one was unanimous. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the dick bag. We went for 2 for 2 on that one. Alright. Now that we finished that all up, let's get to talking about the past. First, we're going to start out with SPW. We're going to start right when it was on fire. Jaden V is world champion. Tyson Vicks is on the rise. Guys like Zarby Smash are breaking the glass wall into the main event scene. What were you doing at the time? And what memories do you have from that era? We'll start with Hip.
Well, I remember, first of all, sometime after TMT had closed down, I started working with SPW, and they wanted me to help book some of the shows with them and write some of the storylines and everything. So it was all very new to me, but I really got used to it. I really loved a lot of the talent they had there, and we really created something special. I remember Jaden V was the world champion, and I really, there was some problems with the shows and everything. They wouldn't have shows for a long time, so I really helped them with that. But something really cool and stuff that to help put over Mark Merrick was we were promoting him as being the champion for 2 years and stuff. In actuality, the reason why he was the champion for so long was because there wasn't that many shows being put on so often. So that was pretty cool. But with Jaden V, I just had this idea to have him be just such a dominant heel champion, and he got a lot of heat for that, and it worked. It actually worked. And then we had Zarby Smash, who was undefeated. Uh, we had that. It kind of had a screwy finish and everything, so it kind of helped out Zarby Smash, even though he took his first defeat. Still got Jaden V over. Like most things, I always think about is try to find a way to put both guys over. And if you can't put both guys over, at least not make one guy look too bad. So, what was I doing at that time? I can't remember. I can't remember what I was doing around that time. But I think no, that was in TMT when we started the Fatal Abusement Gang Society. I can't remember. I can't remember what I was doing personally, but you know, I just know I was doing. I was helping out with the booking and the writing and everything, and try and make it just try and make it a better show, basically.
Ajax, what were your memories from that era?
I mean, I loved it. I mean, like when I came home from wrestling in MMW, I always got on the internet and watched the latest SPW show, cause you know me, Tyson Vicks, and Zarby Smash, you know, we all broke in together at the same time. Not the same promotion, but at the same time, you know, in the same era. And you know, those guys were some of my best friends, and I loved watching them. I mean, I loved watching Tyson because he's athletically gifted. I loved watching Zarby. His psychology in a wrestling ring is amazing. And well, when I was wrestling in MMW, I was well during that era when they were on the rise, I was tag team champions with Damien Defiler, and I didn't really enjoy it. And it's not because he was a bad worker. He's a really good worker, actually, but on a personality level, we just didn't click. I don't know what it was, but we just didn't click as a tag team. And in hindsight, I wish I could have had someone as like a Bernie Thompson or a Demon as my partner, because I don't know, there was just something missing with me as Damien as a tag team.
And what about you, Garland? What do you remember? And what are your memories?
Around this era, I'm just breaking in. I think right around the time everything's were at its height, I just did. I think it was on my second show of Rampage, if I'm not mistaken, where all this was going on. And to me, at this time, the Empire circuit was probably at its height. Everything was, well, I wouldn't say at its height. I say SPW was the top dog in the game. Whether the real Big Pete wanted the public to believe that or not, SPW was the top dog. I'll address that more later when we talk about MMW. But I mean, you had, like Hip was saying, you had Tyson Vicks, you had Zarby Smash, you had Money Power Respect Incorporated, you know, including JMV. Shoot, you had the Clown and Cliff the Karn. I mean, let's look at MMW. Lou Cypher was world champ. The Yayo just breaking in. Powermonger, Beef had came over from TMT. Warzone, you had T-Neck, you had Mikey Truth, you had Ajax. I think S-Cal was still over there at the time, or just got traded over there. So I'm not sure. I'm not 100% certain. Yep. And then, I mean, you had Seven Nation Warrior. Even though he was mad, he was low card at this time, but the kid had potential. They just didn't know what to do with it. So, I mean, like I said, the Empire Circuit was popping at this time. It was a great time to be in the business.
Can I say something real quick too? There was something I just remembered how when I was there SPW. There was stuff going on where this is another reason why I was pushing Jaden V as the world champion. We had pushed Jaden V as undefeated world champion mainly because we didn't really have a big face at that time. So that's when, we were pushing a lot of new stars and everything. But there was one guy that I was gonna push that we had came up with the idea to push him as the major face, and it was Damian Defiler. But unfortunately, it was on the last show, one of the last shows, where we were just going to be pushing him, and he was actually going to be the guy that defeated Jaden V, so he would have lost the title, like, real early on when I had just joined, but unfortunately he left for MMW, and, they promised him, I guess they promised him more money and everything, and more world title shots and everything, more creative control, but, basically, that was another reason why Jaden V had kept the world title for so long, because we didn't really have a top face, and he was supposed to be the guy that was going to be the top face, but unfortunately he had left and went to MMW before we can even do that.
All right, well, time for our next segment, fan questions. King George 3217 from the forums asks, what was the craziest backstage fight you ever saw? Who was involved? Who would like to answer this first?
Oh my god. I'm sorry for laughing. Oh shit. Craziest backstage fight that I saw. Oh my god. You're gonna really laugh at this, man. Believe it or not, Anarchy and Luke Cypher got into it. Oh my god.
Really?
It was over the littlest shit, man. This is actually the most bullshit start to a fight ever. All Anarchy did was brush past Luke Cypher and touch the belt with probably like a piece of his shirt. And Luke got all pissed off and shit, saying, are you disrespecting me? Like, dude, what are you talking about? He just got past you. Like, dude, he's like, don't you ever touch me again. I'm like, Anarchy is like, dude, what the fuck is your problem? Man, I'm telling you, shit started flying everywhere. Catering table got messed up. Man,
who would you say won
everywhere, man. Be honest, Anarchy put them hands on Luke, man. I'm not even gonna bullshit you.
Really? That's one for the books.
Hell yeah.
All right, Ajax.
But hold on. Before you go to Ajax, man, but here's the crazy thing, though. If you notice on TV, that's what led to him kind of disappearing from TV around that time.
Really?
It was punishment. Yeah, because Luke was top dog, man. You didn't touch him. Like, he was untouchable at that time. So that's kind of led to the downfall of Anarchy for a little bit.
Ajax, craziest backstage fight you ever saw? Who was involved?
Me and Matt Bride.
Really?
And it was against each other.
When was this?
This was, back when we were a tag team, actually. And, we had a disagreement in, catering. I don't know, it was probably something stupid. And, one thing led to another, and he basically swung at me and hit me right in the jaw, and that really got me hot. And, I basically speared him, like, against a wall and just kept whacking on him, and security had to pull us apart. And that pretty much led to him getting fired from MMW. I mean, they basically, like, wrote him off TV by, they wrote him off TV by actually having him killed on TV. It's kind of weird, but that's how it happened.
Wow. Is there still heat between you two because of that?
I wouldn't say there's still heat, but let's just say I'm not the biggest fan of him.
Alright. Hipnosis. Craziest backstage fight you ever seen? Who was involved?
Honestly, it was more recently. Like, there's probably more to the story, because honestly, basically what was going on was Claudio, of course, recently was the hardcore champion, and we had to write him off of TV and OWF.
his wife had came to me and was talking about how she wanted to be a part of the women's division in OWF or something, and we were talking about her debut, where kind of as a rib on Claudio. He didn't even know about it, which makes it so funny and kind of so messed up. I mean, the lights go out and everything, and this wasn't part of the script or anything, so he was really confused, and she just starts taking him out with the steel chair and everything, so I can understand why he's pretty mad, but, so, you know, she pins him and wins the the hardcore championship, and this was just all a rib, honestly, but, you know, it just led to so many problems and everything. Me and Claudio got in an argument and stuff, and he just went right out of the arena and stuff, saying he quit and everything, and so we want to at least have him part of one more match or whatever and stuff, and then, so, another thing he didn't even know about was, that Revolution was coming back, so we brought Revolution back, and we had to do a lot of editing though, but we did good enough to make it look like he was almost killed and everything and stuff, and you know, so it was just weird because I don't understand why he would quit after that, you know. Honestly, I wanted to get the hardcore title off him so he can get put in the world top picture maybe, or bring in the TV title and he can go for the television championship, but you know, that hardcore championship meant a lot to him, so you know, unfortunately it ended up being why he had to leave OWF. He ended up quitting, so honestly that was the craziest fight to me, because I just thought it would have been funny, but unfortunately he took it too serious, I think, personally.
Bin Sad 347 asks, how big is Shane Ashton's dick? How'd that get through?
It's probably small and spray tanned.
Oh no, you gotta ask Mikey.
Garland, do you have any?
The truth hurts.
I ain't never seen that guy's dick.
Alright.
Oh Lord. Oh, hell no. The fuck? Who is this guy?
Okay, whenever we do a shoot, this guy, he asks every time how big Shane Ashton's dick is. We did a shoot with John Gonzalez a month ago, and John Gonzalez actually walked out of the studio because he thought we were ribbing him.
The king of fun.
It was...
He probably knows.
And so, since then, we try not to let that question sit through, but I guess one of the producers thought it was too funny. Alright, next question. Johnny Ace 37 asks, who is the biggest diva you've ever met backstage? And what did they do to convince you of this? Hipnosis, do you want to start with this one?
Honestly, I'd probably say Claudio, just quitting like that. No.
Alright, Ajax?
I would go with Claudio as well. I mean, I've never worked with him, but I've met Claudio, and he's a real diva. I mean, everything about him just spells out diva.
Okay. Garland?
I gotta go with them, man. Claudio, I can tell you a story where me and Hip, matter of fact, was backstage, and you know, Claudio was demanding all types of ridiculous shit, like he was a top star. But I mean, like you know, you couldn't tell him shit at this time. I mean, he was hardcore champion. He was beating the fuck out of everybody. He's getting put super over. And you know how some workers get to the point where they really believe the bullshit that they live on TV. Well, that was that case.
Okay then. Tupac53 asks, what is Zarby Smash the person like? And how close is he and Mr. Yonkers?
For one, I just want to say this: change that fucking name. Don't you dare disrespect Tupac like that. Oh, 53. Where you get what? It should have been 52. At least it would have added up to 7 and made sense. But anyways, I'm not gonna shoot on that guy. Zarby Smash the guy is completely different from Zarby Smash the
Shoot on that guy. Somebody already did.
No, but Zarby Smash the guy is complete 180. He's a real cool, no pun intended. He's a real cool guy. He's very business savvy. If you wonder why so crazy and stuff, he wants people out there to actually believe he is that guy. But he does a great job at it, and he's passionate about this business. The relationship with him and Mr. Yonkers, Yonkers was trying to break into this business. I remember one time he tried to go to a wrestling school out somewhere in Kentucky, not OVW, of course. Try to go to a wrestling school, and you know how them old school heads go. Well, you look like you too small, you too fragile to break into this business. RB Smash happened to be there, scouting for talent. I don't know. Zarby seen something in that guy. Zarby told me this story himself. He seen something in the kid, and he's like, I'm gonna take him under my wing. Zarby to this day still don't know what attracted him to Yonkers. No homo. What attracted him to Yonkers. But yeah, that's where their relationship began. But Zarby Smash a cool guy, serious worker, passionate about the business. That's all I gotta say about it.
Ajax, what is Zarby Smash the person like, and what do you know about his relationship with the Yonkers?
There's some similarities between the character and the person, but all in all, if I'd sit here and say that Zarby Smash the person eats cats, he'd probably I don't know, be prosecuted, but he doesn't, thankfully. He's a very charismatic person, much like his character. I can't say a bad word about him. He's one of my best friends. His relationship with Yonkers, it's not something that I've ever asked him, but I'm sure his relationship with Yonkers is pretty good.
And Hip?
He's just amazing. I love the guy, man. Pause, but anyway, he's really awesome. When I lost my interest in wrestling, I'm so glad that I started working with SPW mainly because of Zarby Smash. I think out of everybody in SPW, he was the best one in SPW. He was the greatest character and the greatest person in SPW, man. And I'm really happy that I was doing SPW mainly because of him. And after SPW, I'm really glad that he was still wrestling and everything and still doing his thing, because it really he's probably the reason why I keep getting why I got motivated again after the MMW stuff. He's just so amazing, so awesome, dude.
Thank you. Our last question, which is a lengthy one, comes from Smack Talk 5972. He asks, what was the end of UVW like? Where were you guys when you found out the company was closed? What were the last few days were like? And what workers were the last to walk out the doors?
I know we're kind of hesitant to answer that question, and I guess it's safe for me to speak for all of us when I say that we were devastated. Yeah, even though I wasn't there at the time, it affected me too, because I was such a huge fan of the show. And I found out when I was in the middle of a business meeting with Lord Cipher and HFD, and we were, discussing some creative ideas. I think we had a major show coming out at that time. I can't quite remember what show was coming out, but HFD received a call. To this day, I still don't know who called him, but his facial expression changed because even though we were in competition with each other, um, it was a friendly competition between W Rampage and UVW. I mean, UVW drove Rampage to try harder and vice versa. So his facial expression was kind of changed from a joking move because we were just joking around, planning some stuff, to this devastating look. I will never forget that look on his face. And he got off the phone, and I'm like, boss, you okay, man? I'm like, come on now. I'm like, I was kidding, joking about your moms, but he was like, dude. He was like, dude, you ultraviolet wrestling is closing. And I'm like, man, stop fucking with me, man. I'm like, come on, like, dude, for real. We, he's like, no, man, I'm not bullshitting you. Ultraviolet wrestling is closing. I'm not trying to imitate an English accent because, let's face it, I'm black. I can't do an English accent. But that's enough. But yeah, UVW closed. I was sad because something like that should never have to die. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that should be able to live forever. And in the way it does through the people, through the fans, through the workers, through Zarbi.
What about you, Ajax? You might not have been working there at the time, full time that is, but you have friends that were working there, and what do you remember of it?
Oh boy, well, I remember I got out of a club at like 4 in the morning, and I got a call, and it was from Zarbi, and he was like, "Hey man, I think I'm gonna shut down UVW." And I was like, "What?" I mean, UVW was Zarbi's baby. I mean, I never thought it was gonna fold. And he sounded like in a real depressing tone. He was like, "Yeah, there's just not enough funds. You know, there's not enough people buying enough tickets." And I was really, depressed for him because Zarbi's one of my best friends, and I've been to a lot of UVW shows. Backstage, hanging out with the locker room, during the shows. My cousin Ruff Shagwell worked for them, and Ruff was really worried.
And Hypnosis, you were actually...
Because, he lost his job, and Ruff wasn't...
Well, Hypnosis, you were actually there with the company. What was the last show like? And who was the last guys to leave the locker room?
Well, shit. FOW, I was the top guy. That closed down. TMT, I was the top guy. That closed down. SPW, I was one of the top guys. That closed down. So I really hated it mostly that I was one of the top contenders. I was the top contender for the World Championship, and all of a sudden I hear on the phone, "Hey man, UVW's closing down." What the hell, man? I mean, it's kind of funny now, but like seriously, it really sucked that I'm always the top guy in the company and it always seems to close down. Especially when it's a company that, out of all the companies, I mean, it could have been MMW, but I guess because I was never a top guy there, MMW was able to survive the curse. But for whatever reason, It just really sucked, man. It wasn't even about the world championship match. It was mainly because UVW was so awesome, and it was oh man. Without SPW, I mean UVW was the top federation at that time. I mean everybody could say, they could say they could use all the politics and everything they want in MMW, but UVW was on top at that time, and but all good things must come to an end, and unfortunately, for whatever reason, you know, he decided to close down the company, and that was the end of UVW, man.
All right, time to move on to our final segment. We've been in the studio for over an hour now, and for the last 10 minutes or so, it's gonna be a little more open. The future. What do you guys see in the future for the Empire? Who do you see years from now taking over the spots as the top people, becoming the next big stars? Just what do you see for the future? We'll start with Ajax.
Well, the future is looking bright, honestly. I mean, OWF, they've got a lot of up-and-coming stars there. They've got Creme de la Creme. They've got Adam Arthurs. They've got a lot of up-and-coming stars. Homegrown. That's the thing. Homegrown up-and-coming stars. And there's of course there's NVW. There's Dan Morris. I can go on and on, but really the guy that stands out to me is probably Adam Arthurs, and that's pretty significant because right now he's the world champion in OWF. So that's who I think who's gonna stand out the most as far as the young talent goes.
Thank you. Garland.
Gotta go with Adam Arthurs. Gotta go with Masayo Sanaka. That guy is crazy ridiculous. Crazy ridiculous. Like this guy showed he can hang with anybody in the ring. And when you have somebody like that can wrestle any style, hang with anybody in the ring, he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with. And gotta go with him. Voltaire shows promise. Hell, let's even look at OWF. Grand Star looks impressive. I don't know what to say about the guy yet. I haven't seen any of his in-ring work yet, but he looks impressive. Creme de la Creme, oh my God, I love that team. For some reason, when I seen their highlight video and I seen how they incorporate real tag team wrestling, they bring a tag team wrestling back to where it should be. So Creme de la Creme they're gonna take over the tag team world. They're gonna be the greatest tag team in the world. Mark my words, I guarantee it. Who else? I'm not gonna say Sean Starr because, like I said, I don't. No, he has no business in the business. Now, this next thing I'm about to say, he's not new because he's been wrestling for 15 years. Mr. Kush. Mr. Kush is going to be a world champion finally after all these years. I guarantee it. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. But, that's about it for me as far as who I think is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the years to come.
And Hip, what about you?
It's honestly hard to say because there's so many great superstars and everything. All around OWF, NVW, all over, man. And right now, who there was somebody I was gonna say, but I forgot their name right now. God. Anyways, but it doesn't matter. But One star that I think is really underrated so far is Big Mac. I mean, that guy's big, but he's pretty awesome, man. That guy, full of talent.
All right. For our closing statement, uh, it was announced last week that the MMW has been bled dry of funds, and it's come to no surprise to the wrestling universe with Mikey Truth appearing on NBW and losing the Icon title to Zarby Smash, and the many stars being poached by NBW and the many stars showing up on OWF and whatnot. And just what are your thoughts on what was once one of the most powerful companies in the Empire collapsing?
You know, I mean, stuff comes like this as a shock, man. But you know, that's the kind of stuff you gotta watch out for in today's economy, man.
Ajax, do you have anything to say?
I mean, it's really come to no surprise. I mean, Pete, has a lot of, he's got a big workload. He's a family man, and it's just I don't think his heart was in the right place. I don't think he wanted to be, the booker anymore. I think, he got burnt out. And that happens in the wrestling business.
And Garland, what do you have to say?
You can tell by the way that his product was that he was getting burned out. You can tell because, I mean, everybody just looked out of place. Everybody looked like they don't know what they're doing. Not only that, to me, he had too many workers. Another thing, I think he had way too many workers working on the place, and only a select few getting put on the shows. Not to mention, I think he ran too many storylines. But other than that, as far as the Icon title situation, if I can address that, I know I'm probably kind of veering off somewhere else. Me and Mr. Yonkers talked about it, the whole controversy thing, and we felt that if we did that, it would help him out in a sense. It would help him bring the most cutting edge storyline of all time. So to keep the realism, we didn't tell him that, once he gave us permission to book Mike and Truth, we didn't tell him that we were going to have him lose the Icon title. And we thought he was going to, roll with it. And, we haven't talked to him since then. So I don't know whether he's pissed off or mad or what, or is off doing his own thing. But, that's all I got to say about that. And like I said, I probably kind of veered away from the question.
Well, with this closing out, a lot of people are worried about a star named Center and what his future is going to be, and only time can tell. But for you gentlemen, thank you for taking the time to record this great interview. And we look forward to doing it again in the future.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, and I'm gonna state it here right now. If I'm welcome to come back, I'm gonna come back. I mean, because I got a lot to talk about. So if you let me come back, I'm more than welcome to come back.
I enjoyed it too, man. I'd love to come back too.
All right. Well, this has been KFAB Commentaries Shoe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.